Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and what we're going to be doing is doing sort of the next step in getting this all set up, which is beginning to do our JavaScript. So we are eventually going to need this fetch here, but right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of keep that commented out. First thing I always want to do, especially if I'm doing like with using jQuery or just plain vanilla JavaScript, is I just want to kind of get all my main variables out of the way. So first thing I want to do is kind of get my application state kind of in a manner. So basically, what I mean by that, these are the variables that kind of are important to how my application works. So we'll call this app state. And generally, when these variables change, things are actually kind of happening. Things are kind of happening on the screen. So I'm going to just create an object that's going to hold all my states. So we're going to say const state equals an object. And this is going to have like player 1 score, which will be 0. Player 2 score, which will be 0. The current question. Okay, which right now will be an empty object. Etc. Okay, cool. We'll start off with that, and we'll add more to it as we go along. Just any variables I know I'm going to be changing all the time. Oh, I also going to want to have all my main DOM elements. So anything I plan on referring to a lot, like the place where I'm going to put the questions, the 4 answers, since I'm going to be manipulating them so regularly, I just want to save those in variables right off the bat. So that's going to be const. So let me just go here. Which things am I going to be changing all the time? So that's going to be here in the main index.html. So I'm definitely going to want the question as a div because I'm going to be changing the text of that all the time. So let's say question equals document dot query selector, and then we want to select the div with the ID of question. Then what else do I want? In this case, I just want to change the 4. I want to get the 4 answers in there, and then the 2 scores I'm going to want as well. Okay. Style. App. Okay, so const a equals document dot query selector, and that's going to be the one with the hashtag ID of a, and this I can just kind of copy 4 times. This will be easy. Oh, Control Z. Control C. So edit the first one. That will be B. And we will edit the second one. Again, I'm holding down the Alt key. They have multiple inserts. C. And the 4th one, D. Okay, cool. So that's that. So those are the 4 answer pieces. And now I want to get this H4. Let's try it this way first, and then if not, we'll say. Okay, so const p1 score equals document dot query selector, and then what I want is player ID player 1, but I want the H4 that's inside there. Player 1, let me just make sure that's the right ID. Yep, player 1. And within that div, I want the H4. Yep, that would be the right selector. Let's just make sure that I get it. And this one will be P2 score. And just to make sure that I got all the right elements, what I will do is I will console.log first the 2 that I have the biggest question about. P2 score, P1 score. Okay. So I just think I still got this open in, here we go. So let's go to the console. Good. I selected the right elements. Sorry for the sirens in the background. I do live in Brooklyn. Okay. Now here we go. Cool. So I got what I need. So in that case, we're ready to start like sort of building our application, which we'll do in the next video. But the idea here is like now what I can do is that here we'll update like what the current question is, what the player scores are, and then every once in a while sort of reset using these things here. We'll reset everything. So we'll sit there and say, okay, make sure the question and answers reflect the new set of questions, make sure that the scores match the scores that are in here. So we're going to keep using this as sort of like our source of truth, and every once in a while update the DOM and using these variables here. So we'll build all that out in the next video, but the idea is that now we have, we have our website, we have the fetch that we're going to use to do fetching of the data, and I'm going to create one more thing here. Okay, we're going to create some functions here over the next few videos, and then we're going to eventually have our main app logic, which will contain the fetch. So that will be that. I will see you guys in a bit in the next video.